Hey, folks, it's another Wednesday. Cruising with the Coaches, a conversation with Julie and Lee, is coming up right around the corner. So the question is to play with the Switch or not play with the Switch? That question will be answered after the break. Stay tuned.
Our priority at Blue Monarch Communications is building your confidence as an effective presenter. Whether you're preparing for a formal presentation, a keynote address, an interview, or presenting an idea or concept to your team or your clients, we are here to ensure that you are poised to effectively communicate your content while engaging and connecting with your audience. Let our team help you shine.
Hey, folks, this is Lee Grigsby here, health and life coach and founder of Live All Good Coaching. I'll be on the air with Podcast Business News Network, talking about the various things around health and wellness and mental health. Also talking about how mindset is critical to achieving the goals that you set for yourself. You can reach me at liveallgood44@gmail.com, or you can go to my website, liveallgood.com, and fill out the contact form and reach me there. Once again, that's liveallgood.com. Go to the About section, fill out the contact form, or you can reach me at liveallgood44@gmail.com.
Peace, everyone. This is Aunt Boogie, and you're listening to my man, Lee Grigsby, on the Live All Good podcast. Keep it locked. Let's go, Coach!
Hey, everybody. How are you? This is another episode of Cruising with the Coaches, conversation with Julie and Lee. It is another Wednesday. Julie Cruz, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. We are in the middle of summer, I guess now, since it's July.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just hot. No. I mean, I guess that's what comes along with warm weather. So won't complain. But before we get into our topic for this episode, I want to let everyone know some news that I am now an author.
Congratulations. Yay.
Yeah, no, thank you. It was the book released, or was published, I should say, not released like a podcast, published in the end of June. It is called Self-Empowerment Reset. And there were 12 of us that were co-authors of this book. And my chapter was The Power of Three. So if you want to take a look on my Facebook page, there's a link to the book there, or I will put it on my website at some point. And hope you all enjoy not just my chapter, but, the other 11 authors, man, because it's very unique. It was literally a lot of different stories about how you manage self-empowerment and how you really keep yourself together.
Excellent. Yay.
And I'm not sure any of us keep ourselves together. But
we try.
Right. We practice. Very cool. So just wanted to let everybody know that was a fun thing to do, be an author. Speaking of now being an author, I read articles and I love reading. The site Board Panda is pretty awesome because it's almost as good as Reddit, but it has it's I don't know, it has funnier stories than Reddit sometimes, or the different subreddit feeds.
Okay.
So Julie, when I say the not that you're a board panda, no. When I say the word entitled, what comes up for you when I say that?
Entitled. Oh my gosh, that's like there's all kinds of different ways you can look at that.
Sure.
But for the most part, obviously, it's someone who feels that they deserve something, whether they deserve it or not.
Okay, I great definition. Great definition.
Yeah.
Because today's topic is about entitlement
Mm-hmm.
and the way that you actually described it, right? So I gotta set the table because I was reading this, and so we've all been on flights before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not you've flown in the past 3 years, 2 years, I get it, but we've all been on. Well, maybe we haven't all been on flights, so that's a bad.
Yeah, that's kind of a blanket statement. Yeah, because
Yeah.
there's actually, I was surprised in having a conversation with, oh my gosh, they're not millennials. They are, um,
The ones
what's
after
the,
millennials.
yeah, what is,
Oh, I have no idea.
oh my gosh, they are they went back to generation.
Gen Z.
Gen
Gen
Z,
Z.
yes.
Yeah.
And I was stunned in talking to a group of 12, and there were 3 who had never been on a plane. So I was just like, oh wow, like I guess I
Mhm.
never. But then I actually thought about it. I was like, you know what? No, okay. Now that I thought about it, it's because I was on a plane. I was like, I guess I thought the first time I flew by myself was as an adult, but
Sure.
now I remember I flew with my parents in 6th grade, so I was like 12 because we went to Puerto Rico.
Right.
But
right.
yeah, so can't always assume everybody's.
Well, yeah. So and I realized that after I said, yeah, we've all been on a flight. So for those of us who have been on a flight, that's a better way to say it.
Yes, yes.
Well, this first article I want to talk about is about a mother. Okay, so here we'll set the stage. Packed flight, and typically if it's an hour and a half, you might take something you want to read, take a tablet, video games, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there is, I guess this person would be a millennial, but they brought their Nintendo Switch with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're in a window seat, okay? And so they're in a window seat, and there's someone in between, next to them. Then there's the aisle. Then you go across the aisle, 2 more seats, okay?
Okay.
So, and again, for those of you who've not flown, you typically get on the plane. Everybody finds their seats. You have to buckle your seatbelt because you got to do that while we're on takeoff and landing, okay?
Right.
So this person begins to then say, it got all settled. Excuse me, had a carry-on and took their Nintendo Switch out of their carry-on that was under their seat, right? Or on the floor. So they begin playing Nintendo Switch, headphones on, and from across the aisle, a mother who is sitting with her 9-year-old kid leans across and is saying, excuse me. So the person next to her got her attention, was like, oh, I think she's talking to you, right?
Okay.
And was like, hey, do you mind if, can you let my son play with that for a little bit? And the person is like, no, I'm not really comfortable, giving my stuff to strangers. So no, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Right. So and I'm going to read from the article here because the mother didn't really take no for an answer. Right.
Okay. But can I ask a question?
Oh, yes, you can.
even based on the articles, because obviously you've already
I have
read it.
Yep.
So my question is, though, is the kid having a fit because he's seen the Nintendo and wants to play it? Or is it just that she eyeballed it and thought, oh, this will be something cool to keep my kid occupied?
Number 2. The kid is
The kid
not
never
having
saw it or anything, and it
nope,
wasn't
kid's
asking.
not having a
Yeah,
fit,
okay.
wasn't
Because I'm
asking for it.
thinking, honestly, if it was me, and if it was a kid who saw it, and as a mom, I
Mhm.
would feel like obligated, because if he
It-
isn't controlling himself, and we all have to be in this airplane together for the
Correct.
next however much time, I'm gonna give
Right.
you the damn Nintendo. Like here.
Well, and I'll tell you how long the flight is too, because that
Okay.
gets mentioned.
Okay.
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 But good point. Good point. Like I could see that, right?
Yeah.
If the kids
Yeah.
losing their stuff
Yeah.
and it's like, cool, okay, fine, here, let them play.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
I get that. So I'll quote from the person who has the Switch. She says, my Switch is really important to me and I don't feel comfortable giving it to strangers. I don't even let my sisters play with it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, the woman says, oh, now most people would be like, okay, cool, thank you. Right. And go
Right.
on back
Right.
to
I mean,
business.
I'm done with that. Yeah.
Yeah. The woman says, oh, well, my son's not like that. He's not like most kids. He's not destructive. His cousin has one and he knows how to play.
Oh,
All right.
well, then why don't you buy one for your son?
well, hold on. That
I'm just
answers
saying.
later. That answers later,
I'm just
right?
saying.
Good call, right? Good call. So, this goes on, and the woman smiled after she said that and proceeded to put her hand out.
Oh my.
Yeah. Put
Okay.
her hand out, right?
Okay, Karen.
So there's other passengers, and the passengers are looking at the girl with the Nintendo Switch like, oh no, she didn't.
Right.
like
immediately I'm like, okay, Karen, I see you. Okay.
Put her hand out. Put her hand out.
My, oh my.
So the young woman with the Nintendo Switch is like, you know what? I'm sorry. No, I don't feel comfortable. And I brought it for me.
Right.
Like it's mine. I brought it for me. But she has been nice about this the whole time. She's not been like, lady, go sit down, whatever. She's been like trying to be like, I'm not comfortable. Okay.
Right. The initial no should have been enough, but okay.
Mm-hmm. So the mother after having put her hand out and now being told no again, replies, how old are you? And now she's like in a huff, and she's kind of sitting back in her chair. The mom is right. The young woman says, well, I'm 25 and I don't see how that matters, but I'm exceptionally uncomfortable with giving out my Nintendo Switch to a stranger. The mom replies, well, clearly getting her Karen on. My son is 8. This is an hour and 45-minute flight, and he just wants something to do. He can't see it for a few minutes, right? Now, mind you, the young lady's already said no twice. Twice.
That's what I'm like, well, how old are you?
So she then proceeds to explain again, like, I'm not comfortable with this. This is my property. I don't do that. I don't want to do that. So the mother then says, oh, wait a minute. Oh, so after, again, like a third turn down, like, no, I'm sorry, right? It's my property. After she says that, she puts her head down and starts playing the game again, right? So the mother says, are you serious? Like really upset. And speaks to the kid now, and I quote, well, so-and-so, I'm sorry, buddy. Not everyone knows how to share. Then she says, after she said that, that's when the kid start losing his stuff. The kid starts kicking the chair in front of him, whining, carrying on, screaming. And the mother then says, oh, thanks for this. You did this. He's typically a sweet child, but because you won't share with him, you're being ignorant about it.
Well, and see, that's why I asked, because, I mean, I don't know, that's still kind of weird, because did she ultimately instigate the whole thing, or did she know that my son seeing that, he's going to want that, and therefore I'm going to have to deal with something?
I
But
think that's
it's
probably what happened. I think she
yeah,
saw the
she
young
saw the
girl with
potential
it,
of the
the young
problem. Yeah,
right.
right,
But the kid wasn't making a peep. He was chilling. But it's an hour 45, right? Hour 45-minute flight.
right,
And she sees this person with a Nintendo Switch and thinks that someone's going to give it up, right?
right, right.
So what's even funnier is the passengers sitting next to the young woman with the
Uh-huh.
Nintendo Switch,
Yeah.
they started clapping back at the mom. So the mom actually said this too, and then she was like, "How dare you bring this energy onto this plane?" Right? Like the kid didn't lose his stuff until you told him that this
Right.
person doesn't know how to share,
And he may have not even noticed it had she not continuously asked for it. He
or
probably didn't
or
even know what
share
the heck was going on.
or sharing something that ain't even yours to be shared. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
So the strangers are like, how dare you bring this energy on the plane? Like she told you she doesn't feel comfortable giving electronics to strangers, right?
right,
The
right.
other passengers are saying
Yeah,
this. So then the mother was like, she's an adult. She can share with the child for a 2-hour flight. Like
I'm
now,
sorry,
now,
you're an adult. You knew your child was about to get on a 2-hour plane. Maybe you should have purchased one before you got on a plane.
oh, funny. That's what someone else said. Well, to a
Come on
degree,
now.
right? They were like,
Yeah,
no, you should have brought something for him to do then. And
yeah.
after that, like the mother shut up, right? Like you should have brought for him something to do. So like that's one example of entitlement, right? Because the mother, like you said, so I think the whole thing is that the mother saw this and wanted her son to not see it. So she felt she was probably trying to head us off at the pass.
Right, right.
But the kid
I
was chilling.
understand the proactive mindset. I totally get it. But
Yep.
to anticipate the fact that this person is just going to hand over
Mm-hmm.
their device is just ridiculous. Because, I mean, also, now, let's think about this. How old's a little boy? 8, 9? Is that
eight,
what you
eight or
said?
nine, eight or
Yeah.
nine, something like that.
So,
Yep.
number one, I've done my charging, I've done everything I'm supposed to do to have this
Mm-hmm.
with me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so it was my plan to bring this device on the plane. So therefore, it is basically now understand. I say the same stuff to my own children. Like y'all better figure it out because you're going to watch me playing with what I have, and you're not going to have anything.
And don't ask me for my battery.
Don't
Don't ask me to
no,
charge
don't
nothing.
ask me for a damn thing. Yes, no, that is me. Like same thing with downloading movies or whatever. It depends on
You
how
better
long the
do it.
flight's going to be or
You
whatever.
better
You
do it
better
before we
figure
get
it
on
out.
the plane. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I totally empathize with the young lady, but then
Mm-hmm.
also thinking in the day and age of COVID and everything that's going on, why would I be okay handing over a device so you could put your hands all over it? I don't know
Mm-hmm.
you. I don't know your son.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad enough I have to share air with you for the next 2 hours. You know what? Like, it's like,
Yeah.
oh
So
my
you
goodness.
you hit the nail on the head. They don't know each other.
No.
This is not like they were related, roommate.
Yes.
It's not like they were even talking before they boarded the plane.
Yeah.
Now I want to point something out too because I did mention to those who've never flown on a plane before. This all happened before takeoff. So
Unbelievable.
so you typically
It
have to
hadn't
be
even
seated.
taxied out. So now
No,
we still have 2 hours to go because the
because
2 hours.
the lady had taken off her seatbelt so she could lean across the aisle to engage in this
Unbelievable.
before takeoff. Craziness.
So, like I
So
said, I have 3 children who all know, like, I ain't sharing with you. No way, no shape or form. Like, you understand this. So to expect that from someone who doesn't even know you is
and
crazy.
and then be mad because you set your child up for being angry. Your child then loses it after you've set this up, and you accuse the person for bringing this energy onto the
Mm-hmm.
plane. Come on,
Mm-hmm.
man. Come on.
Yeah.
That's not what we
Yeah.
doing, Karen. That's not what we
Yeah.
doing. But
No.
I'm glad that the
No.
other passengers like started speaking up because they were like, "Are we witnessing this? Are we seeing
Mm-hmm.
this?"
Mm-hmm.
The young lady, the 25-year-old was minding her own business.
Right.
Wasn't doing nothing to nobody else. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just
Right.
trying to take a flight, 2 hours, be done. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So okay, that is one example of entitlement, right? Like that's really what we're talking about. This mother thought she was entitled to get that Nintendo Switch for her son. Then you should be entitled, like you said, Julie, to go buy one.
Yes. That is
Like,
just so bizarre to me.
how would you not? I remember when my daughter was less than two, right? Because, well, no, she might have been closer to, and we were catching a flight. So had like the stroller, the car seat, and all this stuff, right? Because we were going to be gone for like a week, and my wife was actually meeting us in where I think we're going to Cincinnati for a family reunion or something, right? Or
Okay.
going to Florida. And my wife had been away for a week. So then she was meeting us in Florida. So, I have all this stuff, right? So then the flight was delayed and I'm walking around, the airport stores with the stroller. Next thing I know, now had plenty of stuff for my daughter to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
On the plane.
Mm-hmm.
But we're walking through the store and she ends up grabbing one of the Dora dolls or some doll,
Okay.
and we're leaving. I was like, oh shoot. So I had to pay for that because I didn't
Right.
see her. But again, as the parent, I prepared stuff for her to be occupied, not someone else's job, right?
Correct.
Even
Correct.
had stuff once we got on the plane, snacks, all that. Like I was prepared
Mm-hmm.
because that's the job as the parent to prepare for your child to be on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they're 8, 9, that starts to get in the range of, okay, what do you want to do? Then you better pack your backpack. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. But I mean, you knew good and well it's a 2-hour flight. So you better have enough
Hmm.
stuff to keep your child occupied. If not for
Or
yourself, but for the other passengers.
or tell your kids sit there, shut up, and if you don't,
Yeah.
like that too,
Yeah.
But to
Yeah.
blame it on someone else. Mm.
Mm. So I was sitting next to a young lady in an airplane who
Mhm.
had her device. Now, it, I could tolerate so much. And I'm sitting there and like about, I don't know, a good 15 minutes into it. So it happened when it's so funny. Maybe we were on the same flight. No. But she was by the window.
Were you sitting with an 8-year-old kid too?
So she was by the window too.
Mhm.
And she had her device and she had earbuds on.
Okay.
And then, but her device, the game was still doing all the sounds and everything and I'm sitting there going,
Oh.
okay, she's gonna turn this off at any moment. Like I was waiting for like the switch, like the
Sure.
connections, and I
Sure.
looked at her
So
and
so she could, yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm sorry, but I felt like I was entitled to my piece. Like we're talking sounds, and like I can't,
Indeed. Indeed.
avoid sound. So I
Indeed.
looked over at her and I go, excuse me, I think maybe your headphones are not, connected to your device. And she said, oh no, I'm listening to music. As it proceeds to keep playing. And I was like, oh. So I'm looking at my kids. My kids are looking at me, and they're literally like, what you gonna do?
Right.
So no, but then I was like, I tried again for like 10 minutes,
Yeah,
and I was
yeah.
like, finally was just like, look, I'm gonna need you to mute that because we got another hour and 20 minutes to go, and I really don't care to hear that. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, and was very apologetic, but it was just weird that
Sure.
she didn't think to check on it the first time I mentioned it. Like I was trying to be subtle, but it was just kind of like, okay, like maybe but whatever.
Well,
but
and see, in that sense of entitlement, yes, right? You're in a
yeah.
shared space,
Yes.
so you are entitled. Now, if her headphones were so loud that it was coming through that's a different story,
That's
right?
a different
Like she's
story.
trying,
Yeah.
but that's not what it was.
No, she's
You know what I mean?
definitely listening to her music and then still had the sound on her device, which was so bizarre to me. I
That
was
is
just feeling
hilarious.
like, what are you
So she was
doing?
a Gen Z too, then, huh?
Yes, very much so. Very much so. But, again, I would have to say flight experiences are often very intriguing.
Yeah. Good way to put it.
They are.
Intriguing is a
They
good
are
way to put it.
intriguing because you watch people and how they handle their children. You watch people
Man.
how, couples and how they handle things. Like you could tell when they're fighting because they're talking,
Yeah. Or they're not talking at all. And you're
or
like,
at all.
"Oh,
Exactly.
okay, good. I guess y'all want to trade seats. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah. And it's honestly a tough space for entitlement because you're sharing everything. We're talking down to the air.
I mean, and it's a tight space. It's not like you have room to walk around or go to another room. Even it's tight.
Definitely.
So those, and I'm glad that we pointed out like a good part of entitlement too.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because even like public transportation, whatever, that you don't want to subject everyone to what you're listening to or playing.
Correct.
So what I want to do is I want to take a break, and the next example that I want to bring up about entitlement, it's a little different because it's about family, right? But we'll talk about that when we come back. How do you feel about that?
Sounds good.
Okay, cool. We'll take a break, folks, and we'll be right back. Hey, folks, this is Lee Grigsby here, health and life coach and founder of Live All Good Coaching. I'll be on the air with Podcast Business News Network, talking about the various things around health and wellness and mental health. Also talking about how mindset is critical to achieving the goals that you set for yourself. You can reach me at liveallgood44@gmail.com, or you can go to my website, liveallgood.com, and fill out the contact form and reach me there. Once again, that's liveallgood.com. Go to the About section, fill out the contact form, or you can reach me at liveallgood44@gmail.com.
Listen to Keeping the Towel with Aunt Boogie on SoundCloud, Anchor.fm, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. A new episode is dropped every first and third week of every month. Once again, Keeping the Towel with Aunt Boogie. Wipe the blood, wipe the sweat, wipe the tears. But whatever you do, don't throw in your towel.
Our priority at Blue Monarch Communications is building your confidence as an effective presenter. Whether you're preparing for a formal presentation, a keynote address, an interview, or presenting an idea or concept to your team or your clients, we are here to ensure that you are poised to effectively communicate your content while engaging and connecting with your audience. Let our team help you shine.
All right, folks, welcome back from that break. This is another episode of Cruzin with the Coaches, a conversation with Julie and Lee. How can I forget the title? You know what I mean?
I don't know. It's okay.
Old age. We'll go with that. So in this episode, we are kind of talking about entitlement, and we've given some examples in the first segment. So, of course, we have to continue with another example.
Mm-hmm.
But this one is a little different because it has some family ties with it. Okay. So, again, from our friends at Board Panda, because they are entertaining to say the least. So I'll set this table again. This situation was someone. Here's the actual title of the post: Vegan mom is livid after learning a family member who watched her kid for free had a steak for dinner for themselves. Yeah, that's a lot, right?
Okay.
So the mom is vegan,
mm-hmm.
and well, the whole family, right, is vegan,
mm-hmm.
and they so the story is there's a family, their uncle has the wife who's the vegan, okay, The wife was like, cool, no, a few years back, made the whole family vegan. Fine.
Okay.
They got 2 kids. They didn't put up a fight. Their family's vegan. Fine.
Okay.
So this particular time, one of the kids is away at camp.
So clearly, a life choice.
Yes, a life choice.
Clearly,
yeah.
Yes.
Now, well, in the article, the person who was doing the babysitting talks about how the uncle will still eat meat when the wife doesn't know. Right? So he didn't clearly move over to the vegan lifestyle, but he just kind of hides it from her. Okay. But that's the kids aren't really fighting it, whatever. That's their thing. All right.
Okay.
So there's one kid who's at camp. They're the older kid. They think of 2, they're like 9 and 6. Older kids at camp. Then the wife is like, hey, you know what? Why don't we go away for a week, do something special? So the uncle asks, I believe the nephew. It's like, hey, do you mind watching? I think it was a daughter, watching my daughter for the week while we go away. And now the nephew said, I've got 6 kids of my own.
What's one more?
What's one more, right?
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
So the nephew's watching the kid and doing this, respecting the choice that their family is vegan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So fixing vegan meals for the child.
Okay.
Like every meal.
All good. Yeah.
So at one point they sit down for dinner and the nephew makes a steak, right? And takes a picture of it and posts it on Facebook or social media, whatever.
Okay. Some form. Okay.
Yeah. So while the post is then seen by the mother while they're on vacation. First of all, folks, if you're on vacation,
I was like damn that social media.
Like you've already gone on vacation with your husband without the kids. Well, why are you worried about who's posting what?
Right.
Like, and especially why are you worried about the person who's watching your kid, what they're posting?
I mean, that's the whole point. They're watching your kid so you can be free. Like, just keep it.
Yeah. I just had to say that, right?
Yeah.
Just had to say that first.
Yeah.
So, then the mom called. So I will say this is directly from the post. The nephew was like, I understand and respect their dietary choices. I had been providing my little cousin with 100% vegan meals. 100%.
Okay.
Right? So then made the mistake. The mom called, right? The mom saw this. Called while they're on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Called the nephew and is flipping out like accusing the nephew of trying to convert the daughter to eating meat again because they fixed meat in front of her, ate it, and then the mom said, I would appreciate it. Or no, I'm misquoting. The nephew says that she told me, not asked me, told me not to make any more meat in front of the daughter until they come back and pick her up.
I mean, that's just ridiculous. That is just ridiculous.
Well, I think you agree with the nephew because the nephew said,
yeah,
I told her she was being ridiculous.
Yeah. That's ridiculous.
Literally.
You are getting free babysitting for how long? Where are you at? You're supposed to be enjoying yourself. Why are you worried about me eating meat? Like that's ridiculous. Like
and says, so he told her, he was like, you're being ridiculous. I have fed your child vegan meals and I will not be told what I can and cannot eat in my own home.
Right. Because
So,
guess what? He's entitled to that.
Very true. Very true. I see you know the episode, you know the title episode. I like it.
Oh my goodness.
So he goes on to describe this was one of the meals, right? He made chicken fried venison with sausage gravy and biscuits for his girlfriend and all their kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, for his little cousin, made blackberry oatmeal with a just egg omelet. and the just egg is like the vegan substitute,
Sure.
right?
Sure. Yeah.
With peppers, onions, and mushrooms.
Okay.
So number one, that sounds like a really tasty meal.
Right. Right. Right.
But you've now made two different meals, and we're doing that the whole time.
Right.
So yeah, and then now the nephew posted that picture of that breakfast just to get under the skin of the mom.
Well, I do. I mean, of course, I totally understand and can grasp the concept of where mom is coming from, because, you've left your child in the hands of someone else. And, obviously, I, don't even get me on the fact that her husband feels like he has to eat meat, but doesn't tell her that
But doesn't tell her, right? That's a whole nother episode.
Yeah. So I think mama might have some control issues, and that's okay. Just a little bit. But like, I don't know. I can't even imagine having someone who, basically chose to take on your child
for a week,
and so you can be free, and that you would even think to stop and say, based on a post from social media where you're not even supposed to be paying attention, like, seriously, I mean, like, be with your man. That's what you're supposed to be doing right now.
Right.
But like, the fact that you would then turn around and say, how dare you eat meat?
And say, don't fix anymore until we come back and pick her up. But that was in the middle of the week. Somewhere. So they were supposed to come pick the daughter up the Sunday morning. This was like a Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah, no,
right?
I totally get that. Yeah.
Like, whoa, how entitled do you feel?
Exactly.
To tell somebody what to fix in their own. Now, if you posted a picture of the daughter eating the steak,
right? Like, if she had A1 sauce in one hand and a piece of steak on a fork, like, that's a whole different story.
Although that would be
hilarious. I would have done it. I would even put a piece of meat in her mouth, like, yeah. But
and I could see why the mom would be upset, right?
Yes.
But posting a picture of the steak that you made, and then making a whole separate, what sounded really good too, vegan meal for your kid.
Yeah.
Now, and the free part is also important, right? Because let's be real. When you're trying to eat clean and healthier, it is not exactly the cheapest thing to do.
No, it's not.
You can find less expensive options. But the fact that you're making two different meals, you got 6 kids of your own, and now you got 3 kids, right? Would you have wanted to make 3 separate meals for each kid? Maybe you've done it once or twice, but I mean,
legitimately. So what I do is on Sundays, I make, 3 different meals, and that day they kind of all eat whatever the heck they want to eat.
Sure.
And it's kind of like that for the rest of the week. But like, I wouldn't plan on, like, if this was the one meal that I'm going to make for the day, then no, y'all gonna eat what I put on the table.
Or you're gonna go hungry, or you'll find something else.
Yeah, or there's peanut butter and jelly too. So
which is a great substitute.
But like, I think the underlying issue here is if mom is trying to be controlling on the whole of, this is a lifestyle that she has chosen and she wants everybody in the family to be at, she has to be at ease in the fact that her child is going to make the right choices when she is away from her. So I think there's more, the issue is more about, I'm trying to get my family in line and you are trying to lead my daughter astray. And it's like, no. That shouldn't matter. Like, if your daughter is away from you and this is also her choice, then she will do what is according to the plan.
But the fact that he was making vegan meals for her.
Right.
Even like, he's taking care of your kid. You didn't give him money, and he's got 6 of his own.
Yeah. Like, just to expect the whole family to go meatless for the entire time that your child is in their home. That's just unfair. Completely.
That's the entitlement that you don't get. So.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah. So
guess who's not going to be babysat ever again? Don't plan any more vacations because I don't think you're going to have anyone who's going to watch your child.
Or I think what might happen is if they do, it'll be the picture that you said, A1 sauce,
Right?
the meat and meat hanging out the mouth. That picture could be next. If
I wonder, did it say how old the daughter was?
I believe she might have been 6 or 7.
Okay.
Not old.
Okay.
So here's what's even funnier, right? There are some comments about this post.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, the older kid, they were 9 and 6.
Okay.
The older kid was away at camp.
Okay, so it's the 6-year-old. Okay.
Right. And people were like, wait a minute. Who sends a 9-year-old away for like 12 weeks? And I was thinking, people who send them to camp?
Right.
Like there are camps that are all summer. You know what I mean?
My daughter is working at one now. So she had it's a camp that runs, it's gone from June 6th and it'll run all the way in through mid-August. And she said some of the kids are there the whole duration and some of the kids only come for a week here and there,
Exactly.
She said, yeah,
but there are people who do that. Like, and there are plenty of examples. So I was reading that comment like, I guess they never went away to camp.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Even for overnight, Yeah. So is it any thoughts you want to leave our listeners with our episode on entitlement? Any thoughts you want to leave them with?
I mean, I guess for me, it's just, mama bears, I understand. I feel you. But just because it is your way that you like to do things in your home, you cannot always have that be the expectation outside of that space. So let's all just try to get along. My, oh my.
And I just realized both of those examples were of mothers.
Mama bears. Yeah, they were mama bears. Definitely.
For sure.
Yeah.
So we'll leave the nuggets at that. No nugget for me to share.
Too funny.
Oh man. Well, you guys, again, we appreciate when you join us on every other Wednesday. This has been another episode of Cruzin with the Coaches, a conversation with Julie and Lee. And, I know we haven't given you homework in a long time, so let's just say, try not to be entitled to things that are not yours. Until the next time. That's right. Until the next time, we are signing off.